Hey guys, and welcome back to the game room. So, just thought I'd give you a quick update to let you know what I've been up to the last couple of weeks since my last video. You'll notice that I've got some consoles in front of you here. Last time I did a pickups video, a faulty console pickups video, where I had the NES, the Sega Master System Model 2, and the Mega Drive 2, and I went through sort of repairs and talked about them. So the NES, Gruss Newton, another awesome YouTuber that I follow and watch, he asked me a question in regards to the 72-pin connector, because that's a problem with most of these NES consoles, these front loaders anyway, and he asked how I sort of dealt with that problem. Now what I did was took the 72-pin connector out of the NES and literally doused it in rubbing alcohol and isopropyl alcohol, used a bit of wet and dry paper to sort of scuff up the connector, and used the cartridge as well, which was doused in a bit of rubbing alcohol as well on the pins, got it nice and wet, and then inserted it and removed it a good few times. And it worked. From that point onwards, it worked fine more often than not. There's still the odd occasion where I have to sort of move the cartridge slightly to get it to work, but most of the time the machine boots, I don't get the flashing red light. So the reason that that's out in front of us with a box on it, is I'm just going to move the camera over slightly, that box has come from Australia, and the NES and that box are going to be sent to Ian at Mutant Caterpillar Games. I think you can pretty much tell where this is going. That box has got an NES RGB kit inside it for the NES, and I'm going to send that off and get it NES RGB modded. A lot of people I know like to pick up 60Hz NTSC consoles these days, and that's the main thing people want, which is fair enough. But, you know, I thought it'd be cool to have an NES RGB modded PAL NES. And you can see my original NES is at the back there, or the one that I fixed a couple of years ago, where I replaced the 72-pin connectors at the back there. Just thought I'd show those. That's come up nice and clean, and it works pretty well. So the Master System 2, this had absolutely nothing wrong with it. I've given it lots of time of testing it. I then stripped it and cleaned it, and I mean cleaned everything. I took all the switches out, found out that the broken piece of plastic was actually off this switch. There was actually a piece that had fallen out and had snapped off. So glued that back on, so that's now all sorted and all working and feels nice again. Giving this a polish up so it's shiny. And another thing I did to it, if you notice around the back, I have installed a DIN socket, and it looks pretty damn good, you've got to say. That looks as if Sega did it, doesn't it? It looks professional. So this thing has now been RGB modded. It was a little bit different to do compared to the other Sega Master System 2 that I've got here. This is my other one that's got Alex Kidd built into it. As you can see, again, a good clean job. This is my other one that's come up really nice, because this one's got the Sony encoder chip in it. So this one was straightforward and easy to do, whereas this one had some kind of other chip. Was it a Fujitsu chip or something along those lines? It had a different chip, so things weren't quite the same. The RGB points were the same. Composite video was different, and as were things like the switch and voltage, etc. They were different, but I still managed to do it, and it's come up looking great. You can still see it's got that Battle Scar, that chip on the corner. But this thing's actually up for sale. If anybody wants an RGB modded Sega Master System 2 with Sonic the Hedgehog built into it, let me know, get in contact, because yeah, I'll be more than up for selling this console to somebody if they want a RGB Master System 2. Just so you can see, that's what Sega did with the Master System Model 1. There you can see the AV out socket there. So yeah, it looks it looks as if Sega themselves would have done it. Same with the NES. Once that's been NES RGB modded, there may well be a time as well in the future that I'll sell that on as well, and that would be cool for someone to have an NES RGB modded Nintendo Entertainment System. Now the Mega Drive 2, the reason this is here is because whilst in RGB, with the RGB SCART cable it works fine, it actually has an issue when I plug in using composite. So I'm going to have a chat with my work colleague that's going to buy that off me to make sure that he's happy with using it primarily with RGB SCART, because it does have an issue with composite. I'll try and capture some video here. Trying something different this time, guys. That's why we've got 2 different camera angles. I've got my iPad 2 set up over there. I've got the iPhone set up over here, just to try and make things, you know, a little bit more interesting. And yeah, so the last thing that I've been up to is I have got a retro gaming PC that I've put together, a Dell Optiplex GX100. I'm going to go into a lot more detail, hopefully, in a future video on that one. And I'm going to do a video that's kind of a response to a retro gamer called SNEStastic about collecting and how collecting can affect you mentally and physically and various other things as well. So look out for that as well in the future, because I'll do a video on that. So thanks as ever for watching, guys, and I'll catch you again soon.
3, 2, 1.